Welcome to Semestral Project 4. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to continue with the SenHat emulator, and we're going to look at particularly the joystick, which is on top of the SenHat emulator. So let's begin. So where is the joystick located? So if you look at the right hand side of the picture, you will see that there is a black item here, and it's been circled in red, and this is where the joystick is being located. This is also the same location as the actual SenHat hardware. So what we're going to do today basically is to write programs to actually access the functionality of the joystick. So as a recap, last week we actually did the 8x8 LED matrix, and we are able to actually get the matrix to light up using the set pixels to draw a picture of a set face, and we also later draw a picture of the minions, and we managed to also animate that minion. So today we are going to look at the joystick, and we are going to combine the joystick together with the 8x8 matrix. So let's begin. To start programming the SenHat, we need to look at the SenHat API. Okay, this API, as we have first looked at it previous week, will house all the instructions that the SenHat. One of the particular instruction that we will be looking at is the joystick. So let's click on the link here and see what's the instructions and how do we access the instructions. So once you click on this link, it will bring you to the website where it contains the API reference of the joystick. So the first thing you will see basically is the explanation of the input events of the joystick. These input events consist of tuplets that which you have studied last semester on Python. It consists of a timestamp, direction, and also the action that will returns for this input event. So what we're going to do today is, for a start, we're going to start looking at one of the instructions called wait for events, and we're going to start to program this part of a wait for events to see what are the events that's giving back to us. Once you have finished typing the program, what you can do is to run the program you just typed. Okay, to activate the joystick to work in emulator, what you need to do is remember to put your mouse on top of the SenHat graphics over here, describe diagram, and click on it. Okay, let's run the program now. So what I want you to do is, after you press the run button, move your mouse on top of the SenHat picture, do a click, and then what you can do is choose any of the arrow keys on your keyboard. So maybe let's say that I'm going to press my down arrow key. Okay, so what you will see immediately at the bottom window is that SenHat, the Python has printed out this instruction called senstick.input, which is the event. It has a timestamp, it has a direction, and action. So basically, it's returning me the direction that's telling me that I've just pressed my down arrow key, and what is the action is that my down arrow key has just been pressed. So this is how we actually make use of the wait for events. Okay, if we want to make this able to run continuously, what we need to do is we will then need to actually put a while through loop here. Okay, then we need to actually indent this now with a tab or 4 spaces. Then this will run forever. But the problem is that once we run forever, we will need to then press the stop button in order for this event to stop. But then, never mind, we'll do it now and test it. So what you can do is go up to the taskbar here, press the run button, and let the program runs. And now you see the events has started, but there's no printout because this instruction is still blocking. So do the same thing, right click on the picture, then you can now start to press on your arrow keys or your enter key. So let's say if I press my right enter key, right arrow keys, it will give me my right. Okay, and now immediately you will see that there's two events being printed out. One is my right press and then my right release. So every time I press the button, you will have a press event and a release event, and this event is coming back in my action tuplets. Okay, so what you need to do now next is, if I want to actually try the enter key, I just need to press my enter, and you will see that now my enter key is actually mapped onto the direction that is middle. Okay, so with all this, you should be able to actually capture the joystick event. So let's do it now, and we'll resume later. Okay, welcome back. I hope that you have time to actually practice the wait for event. So just a short recap, when you use this instruction wait for event, what the program does is basically it will wait. This is because this event is basically a blocking instruction, so you will block here until the joystick is being activated, and then whatever state it is will then return to this variable, and this will then get printed out. So by doing this method, it's not that efficient, because what happens is that the whole program will actually stop here, and it cannot do anything until the joystick is being activated. But we will look at other instructions that will help to overcome this method. But before we do that, let's go back to our SenHat API and look at what other things we can input for the wait for events. Okay, if you look at this page, there's an optional parameter called empty buffer. This empty buffer basically is to help the software or the program to actually clear the joystick buffer before the next instruction comes in. This is not very obvious in the emulator, because for emulator it's an ideal condition. You will not have any switch debounce or situation. But in the hardware, this is very useful instruction, as it will actually helps to actually debounce some of the inputs and then make the detection inputs more reliable. So we will visit this instruction again when we start to look at all this instruction or implement this instruction on the hardware. So let's go on to the next part, which is get event. So you scroll further down, you will see that there's another instruction called get events. What this does is, this is a non-blocking instructions, and this will help to actually print out all the events that's happening. So let's cut this instruction and let's see what is happening. So once I run this program, I'll click on here and I'll start to actually press my keyboard. So you will see that now I'm able to actually get all the events coming back, and it's able to print out all the events. At the same time, when I press up, it will say that it's being held up. So this is keep on constantly returning the events that is being held. In this case, the up arrow key is being pressed. So similarly, if I press enter, you will see that my enter key or the middle button is being pressed. Again, this is a blocking instruction, which means that it will actually get blocked and wait for the events to come in and not do anything. Okay, so this is one of the implementation that you can actually try, but it's not that efficient. So I'll give you a few minutes to actually try this instruction, and then we'll come back for the last part of it. So with this instruction, testing the get events. We more or less finished the joystick topic for this week, so I will stop here. What you need to do now is basically go to the assignment and complete the assignment that's given.